In this class, we will discuss the topic fungi. Fungi is a heterotrophic organism. It is cosmopolitan and occur in air, water, soil, and on animals and plants. They are multicellular organisms. They prefer to grow in warm and humid places. I have one question. Have you ever wondered why we keep food in refrigerator? Because it is prevent food from going to bad due to bacterial or fungal infection. So in this we conclude these fungi grow in warm and humid places. Fungi are the eukaryotic organism because it have a well defined nuclear membrane. Some other example is when your bread develops a mold or your orange rots, it is because of fungi only. The common mushroom you eat and toadstool are also fungi. Some unicellular fungi, example, yeast are used to make bread and beer. Mostly this yeast is used for fermentation process. Some other fungi cause diseases in plants and animals. For example, wheat rust causing by Buccinia is an important example for this disease causing agent. And some are used as antibiotics. For example, penicillin is made by the Penicillium mold. Fungi are made up of filamentous long thread-like structure that is called Hyphae. This Hyphae network of Hyphae is known as Mycelium. This Hyphae, they can be septate or non-septate. Septate means it has a cross wall in their hyphae. Some hyphae are continuous tube filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. They are called coenocytic hyphae. Most fungi are heterotrophic and absorb soluble organic matter from dead substrate. And now we will see the absorption mechanism of fungi. Fungi gets carbon from organic sources, and fungi hyphae releases enzymes. These enzymes break down the substrate, and the product diffuses back into hyphae. Fungi cell wall is made up of chitin and polysaccharides. Most fungi are saprophytes. Some fungi are symbiotic relationship. For example, Mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae is a mutualism between fungus and plant roots. For example, pine trees, roots and fungi mycorrhizae on roots to absorb water. Fungi can also live in symbionts in association with algae as lichen and with roots of higher plants as mycorrhizae. First example is lichen. In this lichen, algae and fungi involved in this symbiotic relationship. In the algae helps fungi for photosynthesis, and fungi helps to algae absorbing water from rocks or soil. Reproduction in fungi can take place by vegetative means. First one is fragmentation, fission and budding. Asexual reproduction is by spores also, called conidia, sporangia, spores or zoospores. In this first one, fragmentation, in this part of mycelium becomes separated and begins a life on its own. The next one is budding. A small cell forms and gets pinched off as it grows to full size. Example is the asexual reproduction are spores by single mycelium. Examples of the spores is first one is conidia, second one is sporangiospores and zoospores. Fungi involve sexual reproduction also. This sexual reproduction is by oospore, ascospores, and basidiospores. The various spores are produced in distinct structures called fruiting bodies. The sexual cycle involves the following three steps: plasmogamy, karyogamy, and meiosis. In this plasmogamy, fusion of protoplasm between two motile or non-motile gametes called plasmogamy. Then fusion of two nuclei called karyogamy. Meiosis in zygote resulting in haploid spores. In this picture, explain the sexual reproduction. First one, in this plasmogamy. In this plasmogamy, the two protoplasm mating and produce basidiocarp dikaryotic 2N phase. This finally produce basidiospores. Then this basidiospores fusion of two nuclei undergo meiosis division, then is produced basidiospores. Then again this was separated and produced two different type of gametes. And then plasmogamy, likewise this sexual reproduction takes place. When a fungus reproduces sexually, two haploid, Hyphae or compatible mating type come together and fuse. In some fungi, the fusion of two haploid cells immediately resulting in diploid cells 2N. However, in other fungi, for example, Ascomyces and Basidiomyces, as inverting dikaryotic stage occurs, such a condition is called dikaryon, and the phase is called dikaryotic phase of fungus. Later the parental nuclei fuse and the cells become diploid. The fungi forms fruiting bodies in which reduction divisions occurs, leading to formation of haploid spores. The morphology of the mycelium, mode of spore formation, and fruiting bodies forms are the basis for the division of the kingdom into various classes. Based on morphology of mycelium, mode of spore formation, fruiting bodies, there are four classes: Heteromycota, Zyomycota, Basidiomycota, and Ascomycota. Basidiomycota and Ascomycota are closely related. First, we will see Phycomycetes. Phycomyces is a member. Phycomycetes are found in aquatic habitats and on decaying wood in moist, on damp places. It is an obligate parasitic on plants. The mycelium is aseptate and coenocytic. Asexual reproduction takes place by zoospores. Zoospore means that is motile. There are aplanospores. Aplanospore means that is non-motile. These spores are endogenously produced in sporangium. A zygospore is formed by fusion of two gametes. These gametes are similar in morphology, that is called isogamy, or dissimilar, that is called anisogamous or oogamous. Note down, it is similar means that is isogamy. If it is dissimilar means that is anisogamy and oogamy. Some common examples of this Phycomycetes is mucor, then rhizopus. Rhizopus is a bread mold. Albuco, this is a parasitic fungi on mustard. Okay, next we will see Ascomycetes, commonly known as sac fungi. The Ascomycetes are mostly multicellular. Example, Penicillium. If it is some or rarely unicellular, example, yeast, Saccharomyces. They are saprophyte, decomposer, parasitic, or coprophilous. Coprophilous means They are growing on cow dung like this. Mycelium is branched means that branched and septate. Asexual spores or conidia produce exogenously on a special mycelium called conidiospores. Conidia on germination produce mycelium. Sexual spores are called ascospores, which are produced endogenously in sac-like asci, singular ascus. These asci are arranged in different types of protein bodies called ascocorps. Down in this ascomycota, asexual spores are called conidia and sexual spores are called ascospores. Some examples for this ascomyces is first one is aspergillus, next one is neurospora. This neurospora is used extensively in biochemical and genetical work. Another example is claviceps. And the next one is moral centrophils are edible and are considered for food. Here important to remember is neurospora. This neurospora is used for extensively in biochemical and genetic work, and moral centrophils are used as a food. Then we will see basidiomycetes. Commonly known forms basidiomycetes are mushrooms, bracket fungi or puffballs. They grow in soil, on log and tree stumps and in living plant bodies as parasites. For example, rust and smuts. The mycelium is branched and aseptate. The sexual spores are generally not found, but vegetative reproduction by fragmentation is common. The sex organs are absent, but plasmogamy is brought about by fusion of two vegetative or somatic cells of different strains of genotype. The resultant structure is eukaryotic, which ultimately gives rise to the basidium. Karyogamy and meiosis takes place in the basidium, producing 4 basidiospores. The basidiospores are exogenously produced on the basidium. The basidia are arranged in fruiting bodies called basidiocarp. Here, important to remember is asexual reproduction by fragmentation, and in the sexual reproduction, sex organs are absent. Their phases are dikaryon, basidium and karyogamy. Some common members are agaricus mushroom. This is a common mushroom we eat. Then astilaco, that is mud, and Puccinia, rust fungus. And the final one is deuteromycetes. This is an imperfect fungi. This imperfect fungi, Mycelium, is septate and branched. Why it is called imperfect? Because it's only asexual reproduction by conidial spores. So no asexual reproduction and all. It is a saprophyte and parasitic and decomposes. It is mostly help in mineral recycling. Some members are saprophytes or parasites, while a large number of them are decomposers. Some examples are Alternaria, Cholesterotrichum, and Trichoderma.